Hello students, in this video we are going to discuss the effect of temperature on the conductivity of a semiconductor. We know that conductivity means ability to let the current pass through anything. So let us talk about the conductivity of a semiconductor. In the previous video, we had derived an expression for the conductivity of an extrinsic semiconductor. We know that a semiconductor has electrons and holes, okay, which are the charge carriers in a semiconductor. And the conductivity of a semiconductor is given by sigma equals to E Ne mu E plus NH mu H, where E is the charge on the charge carrier, whether it is an electron or a hole. Both of them have got same magnitude of charge, only the signs are opposite. Electron carries minus 1.6 into 10 raised to the power minus 19 coulombs of charge, whereas the hole carries the same magnitude of charge but with a positive sign. Ne means number density of electrons, okay. Number density of electrons means number of electrons per unit volume of a semiconductor. Mu E means mobility of electrons, okay, plus NH means number density of holes, which means number of holes per unit volume. Mu H means mobility of holes. Right now, this expression we are dealing with, we don't know whether the extrinsic semiconductor has holes as majority charge carriers or electrons as majority charge carriers. We don't know whether it is N-type or P-type. So it's simply an equation here, okay, which is dealing with an extrinsic semiconductor. So what do you think? When you would increase the temperature of a semiconductor, what would happen? See, when the temperature of a semiconductor is increased, the mobility of electrons and holes decreases. Just like this happens in a metal. In a metal also, mobility of charge carriers decreases when the temperature is increased. Reason being because when the temperature is increased, what exactly happens? लैटिस जो है वो बहुत ही हाई फ्रीक्वेंसी पे वाइब्रेट करने लग जाता है. तो जब वो वाइब्रेट करने लग जाता है तो उससे क्या होता है कि कोलिजन्स बहुत फ्रीक्वेंटली होने लग जाते हैं. एंड जब कोलिजन्स बहुत फ्रीक्वेंटली होने लग जाते हैं तो फर्स्ट कोलिजन से सेकंड कोलिजन के बीच में जो टाइम स्पैन होता है ना वो बहुत कम हो जाता है. बहुत जल्दी जल्दी कोलिजन्स होने लग जाते हैं बिकॉज लैटिस बहुत हायर फ्रीक्वेंसी पे वाइब्रेट कर रहा है. तो अगर वो टाइम कम हो गया फर्स्ट कोलिजन से सेकंड कोलिजन के बीच में, इट मीन्स रिलैक्सेशन टाइम कम हो गया. और हमें पता है कि जो ड्रिफ्ट वेलोसिटी होती है वो रिलैक्सेशन टाइम के डायरेक्टली प्रोपोर्शनल होती है. सो जैसे ही रिलैक्सेशन टाइम कम हो गया, फर्स्ट कोलिजन से सेकंड कोलिजन के बीच वाला टाइम कम हो गया क्योंकि कोलिजन्स बहुत रैपिडली हो रहे हैं, तो ड्रिफ्ट वेलोसिटी भी कम हो जाएगी. अगर ड्रिफ्ट वेलोसिटी कम हुई तो मोबिलिटी भी कम हो जाएगी क्योंकि मोबिलिटी जो है दैट इज ड्रिफ्ट वेलोसिटी पर यूनिट इलेक्ट्रिक फील्ड. तो इन शॉर्ट, वेदर इट इज अ मेटल और अ सेमीकंडक्टर, the mobilities decrease with increase in temperature, okay. But let me tell you one thing, mobility decrease पक्का होती है, that's for sure for a semiconductor. लेकिन जब आप टेम्परेचर इंक्रीज करते हो बहुत ज़्यादा तो आपको ये एक्चुअली में एक सेमीकंडक्टर है. दिस इज अ सेमीकंडक्टर, प्योर सेमीकंडक्टर, ओके. सो basically you can see that this semiconductor is having covalent bonds all around which are containing the electrons, the valence electrons. Don't you think when you would increase the temperature, covalent bonds would break, and when they would break, free charge carriers would be released, and when free charge carriers would be released, Don't you think those will actually increase the number density of electrons and holes? When number densities of electrons and holes are increased, conductivity of a semiconductor will automatically increase. Yes, that's true. So, what are we getting from it? That although mobilities for a semiconductor decrease with the increase in temperature, but the number densities increase to such an extent क्योंकि covalent bonds break हो जाते हैं, and when the number densities increase to a predominant extent, the conductivity will eventually increase. नंबर डेंसिटीज बहुत ही ज़्यादा इंक्रीज हो जाती है, इतना तो डिक्रीज मोबिलिटी में आया भी नहीं होता, तो वो उसका इंक्रीज जो है वो इसके डिक्रीज के ऊपर ओवर पावर कर जाता है. सो ओवरऑल कंडक्टिविटी जो है सेमीकंडक्टर की वो इंक्रीज कर जाती है. सो यू शुड रिमेंबर कि मेटल्स के केस में कंडक्टिविटी लो जाती है अगर आप टेम्परेचर को इंक्रीज करते हो. क्यों? क्योंकि मेटल्स के केस में जब आप टेम्परेचर को इंक्रीज करते हो, लैटिस बिगिंस टू वाइब्रेट एट सच एन एक्सटेंट, आई टेल यू दैट, सी, number densities in case of a metal are already fixed. There are no covalent bonds which would be broken once you increase the temperature. So, talking about a metal which is already not having covalent bonds at all, what's going to happen in metal? In case of metal, when the temperature is increased, the lattice begins to vibrate. The positive ions begin to vibrate and they cause such a hindrance to the path of the flowing electrons, such that those flowing electrons face so much resistance and conductivity eventually decreases. But in a semiconductor, since the temperature increase will ensure the breakage of covalent bonds, that's why free charge carriers will be liberated, and that will happen to such an extent that the conductivity of a semiconductor would drastically change. Okay, so conductivity of a semiconductor increases with increase in temperature, whereas the conductivity of a metal decreases with increase in temperature. So that's how the things go like. Thank you.